Okay, we'll get started. I'd like to call to order this regular meeting of the Lincoln Lancaster County Planning Commission of July 20th, 2016. A printed agenda is available outside the hearing room, and a copy of the full agenda, including staff reports, is available at the front of the chambers with the clerk. Open Meetings Act is posted just inside the door at the back of the room. If you parked in the parking garage across the street to the north, the gate is open and no coupons are necessary. Out of courtesy for those attending this meeting and the commissioners and the staff, cellular phone usage is not permitted in these chambers. During any portion of this meeting, we appreciate your cooperation. The Planning Commission action today is final on the following items: 1.1 Special Permit 11025A and 1.2 Special Permit 16029. Any aggrieved person may appeal final action of the Planning Commission to the City Council by filing a notice of appeal with the clerk within 14 days following the action of the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission action on all other items is the recommendation to the City Council or the County Board. The first item of business is the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting held July 6, 2016. May I have a motion?
Move approval.
Thank you. Did you get that, Jerry?
Was that?
That was I
I
was
got Michael,
motion.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Unless somebody else got it.
Jerry, please call the vote.
Okay. Cornelius,
Yes.
Core,
Abstain.
Sunderman,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Shear.
Abstain.
We'll need 5 votes. Did you read the minutes?
I did. I can change if I need to.
Okay,
Up.
so we could move these along, yeah, or get
Yes.
an approval on these. Thank you. Hove,
Yes.
motion carried 5 to 0 with 1 abstention. Thank you.
The next item of business is the consent agenda. Any items on the consent agenda will be called at the same time and will not be scheduled for a separate public hearing unless there is a request from someone wishing to speak or at the request of a commission member. I'll ask Jerry to read all the consent agenda items into the record. Once those items are read, she will ask if there is anyone wishing to speak. If you do wish to speak on an item on the consent agenda, we ask that you stand and state that item. The item will then be removed from the consent agenda and scheduled as a separate public hearing under Section 3 of today's agenda. All items remaining on the consent agenda will be voted upon in total with a motion for approval. Jerry, will you please call the items on the consent agenda?
Yes. The first item is under special permits. Actually, they're both under special permits. The first item is item 1.1, special permit number 11025A to revise an area of the existing community unit plan to accommodate 40 single-family attached lots with waivers associated with right-of-way, storm water detention facilities, sanitary sewer, center line grade, block length, lot length, depth to width ratio, and setbacks on property generally located at North 40th and Turner Street. And just to note that the staff recommendation on this is conditional approval as revised in the staff report and agreed upon by the applicant. Item 1.2 is special permit number 16029 to allow a temporary rock crusher on property generally located at 1675 Saltillo Road. Are there any ex parte communications to be disclosed on these consent agenda items?
I see none.
Is there anyone here wishing to speak on either of these consent agenda items? If so, please stand and state that item.
Doesn't look like anyone. I ask for a motion.
Move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
That was Ken.
That was Dennis.
Dennis. Thank you,
Sorry.
Dennis.
Jerry,
Moved by
please,
Cornelius, seconded by Shear.
Yep.
Okay.
please call the vote.
Cornelius,
Yes.
Core,
Yes.
Thunderman,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Shear,
Yes.
Hove.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0.
I'll now ask Jerry to call any requests for deferral received prior to this meeting.
Okay, we've received 2 separate written requests on behalf of the applicants of the following applications for a 2-week deferral to the August 3rd Planning Commission meeting. The first request is for item 2.1, special permit number 16025 to allow for the development of a new community unit plan comprised of 7 single-family units with waivers to setbacks, minimum area and width requirements, and the lot width to depth ratio on property generally located at 828 D Street and 848 D Street.
I'd entertain a motion for deferral.
Move
So-
approval. Core?
Second, Weber.
Thank you. Jerry, please call the vote.
Cornelius,
Yes.
Core,
Yes.
Sunderman,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Shear,
Yes.
Hove.
Yes.
Motion carried, 6-0. Okay, we've also received a request for a 2-week deferral to the August 3rd, 2016 Planning Commission meeting for the following 2 associated items. Item 2.2A, Comprehensive Plan Amendment Number 16003, to amend the 2040 Lincoln Lancaster County Comprehensive Plan by changing the 2040 Priority Growth Areas designation from Priority C to Priority B, Tier 1, on property generally located on the north side of Van Dorn Street from South 87th to South 98th Street. And also, the associated item is item 2.2B, annexation number 16008, to annex approximately 5.12 acres more or less for future development on property generally located on the north side of Van Dorn Street west of South 91st Street.
Does this have to be a single motion or 2 motions?
We can just do a single motion for those 2 associated
Okay,
items.
move to defer to August 3rd.
Thank you.
Second, Core?
Thank you. Jerry, please call the vote.
Cornelius,
Yes.
Core,
Yes.
Sunderman,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Shear,
Yes.
Hove.
Yes.
Motion carried, 6-0.
Is there anyone here wishing to testify on agenda items 2.1, special permit 16025, or agenda item 2.2A or B, comprehensive plan amendment? If so, I'd ask them to come forward. It doesn't appear to be. With the deferral of these 3 applications, there are no further items scheduled for public hearing on today's agenda. Steve?
Steve Hendrickson, the Planning Department. We do have a gentleman here who wanted to speak on our accessory building amendment. We had initially put it on this agenda, and then it got delayed to August 3rd. It's the one that we briefed you about previously that would put in some caps, but also extend the amount of square footage that might be available on accessory buildings. And since the gentleman was already here, it's not on your agenda today. And it'd make it easier for him if he could go ahead and present his testimony to you today.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Hove, members of the committee, Commissioner. My name is Walt Brower. Walt Brower Construction Company, a longtime Lincoln builder here in Nebraska.
Walt, could you give us your address, please?
Pardon me?
Your address, please?
Yes, 2455 West Van Dorn, here in Lincoln. And I guess we're a week or 2 off here. I just got informed, but I did want to say real briefly, I'm very much for, and I think many, many people in our industry are very much for the amendment changes that are being proposed for the square footage. We have some situations where there's been annexations where we have 10-acre lots and we can't build a 2,000 square foot building on that 10 acres. And I think the commission needs to carefully look at these square footages. I think they've been well done. It's been very well proposed. And we as an industry, now I'm going to speak for our industry, are very much in favor of it. Any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Brewer? Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
At this time, anyone wishing to speak on an item not on the agenda may do so. It appears we're adjourned.